My sister disinvited me from her wedding because she was convinced her fiancé was in love with me. But I quietly revealed the truth and watched her. Perfect. World collapse, I'm mule. 24F. And I need outside perspective because this entire situation has been absolutely unreal. My older sister Lee, 29F, was supposed to marry Jonathan, 29M, in what everyone kept calling the perfect wedding. They'd been together for years, and from the outside, everything looked flawless. That is, until everything exploded. And surprisingly, not because of anything I did. The wedding is now completely off, and the reason Jonathan walked away is because he was horrified by how cruelly Lee and our parents treated me, specifically by banning me from the wedding over her paranoid belief that Jonathan had feelings for me. Yes, you read that right. My own sister genuinely thought her fiancé was secretly in love with me, her younger sister she barely speaks to. Let me walk you through how we got here. For context, I've never been close to Lee or my parents. Nothing explosive ever happened, no huge blowout fight, just a slow, quiet drift that started when I left for college. I stopped coming home for breaks. I'd either travel with friends or stay with my grandparents where I actually felt welcome. The truth is, my immediate family and I are fundamentally different people. We don't share interests, humor, values, nothing. Growing up, whenever I tried to talk about things I cared about, I'd get polite nods and an immediate subject change. After a while, I stopped trying. What hurt the most was that when I started pulling away, nobody fought for me. Nobody asked, "Hey, are you okay? We miss you." It was almost as if they preferred the distance. That realization stung more than any argument ever could. So contact became minimal, only major holidays and birthdays, and even then I felt like a polite guest, not family. Lee was always the golden child. Successful, socially perfect, the daughter my parents bragged about. I was the quiet, awkward black sheep who never quite fit their mold. They never hit me or anything dramatic, but the constant subtle digs, eye rolls, and dismissive comments built up over years. Eventually, I decided it was healthier to keep my distance. Last Christmas was the first time Jonathan joined us for dinner. For once, someone actually spoke to me like a normal human being. He asked about my travels, my classes, my job, basic, friendly conversation. To me, it was nothing. To me, it was just decency. But Lee noticed. She spent the entire evening shooting me icy glares. Later that night, she cornered me and accused me of always being jealous and trying to steal her man. I laughed in her face because the idea was absurd, but she was dead serious. After that, the vibe shifted. Lee became openly hostile, short answers, clinging to Jonathan at family events like I was some threat. My parents started dropping passive-aggressive hints about respecting relationships and family loyalty. I ignored it all. I had zero interest in her fiancé or her drama. Months later, I found out through my grandparents, not Lee, that she was engaged. My own sister didn't even tell me. I tried to brush it off, but it hurt. Still, I told myself maybe she'd eventually send an invitation. Weeks passed. Nothing. Then one day she finally called. After awkward small talk, she casually announced, "I'm not inviting you to the wedding. Since Jonathan clearly has feelings for you, it would make things weird." I actually laughed out loud. I told her she was being ridiculous, wished her a happy marriage, and hung up. I'd long accepted we weren't close. Missing her wedding wasn't going to ruin my life. Fast forward to the night before the wedding, presumably the rehearsal dinner. I'm at home, minding my own business, when my dad starts blowing up my phone demanding I come to the venue immediately. No explanation. I refused. 5 minutes later, Lee calls, hysterical. Turns out Jonathan had just called off the entire wedding. His reason? He was disgusted by how Lee and my parents treated me. Banning me over her delusional jealousy was the final straw for him. Instead of reflecting, Lee begged me to show up and lie. Tell everyone I chose not to come, so she wouldn't look bad in front of the guests whose deposits were already spent. The audacity was breathtaking. I told her absolutely not and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up to over 100 missed calls and hundreds of messages. My phone was a war zone. I called my grandparents for the sane version of events. Jonathan had gone completely no contact with Lee. She was sobbing nonstop, My parents were in damage control mode. My grandmother gently suggested I reach out to Jonathan to clear the air. I was exhausted and just wanted the harassment to stop, so I considered it. Before I could decide, my doorbell rang. I opened it to my entire family on my doorstep: Mom, Dad, Lee, and Jonathan. They wanted to come inside for a family meeting. I refused to let them in and told them to say whatever they needed to say on the porch. Lee immediately started yelling that I needed to fix this and explained to Jonathan that everything was a misunderstanding. I looked Jonathan in the eye and told him the truth. Lee accused me of trying to steal him, banned me from the wedding because she was convinced he was in love with me, and that this kind of manipulative, scapegoating behavior was par for the course in our family. Lee lost it completely and slapped me across the face. Without thinking, my hand went up to slap her back, but Jonathan grabbed her arm, pulled her away, and started arguing with her in low, furious tones. A few minutes later, Lee returned in tears and announced the engagement was officially over. Jonathan told her he was done, walked to his car, and left. My parents glared at me like I was the one who blew up the wedding. Lee stood there sobbing. I mumbled something about needing to go inside, walked back into my house, locked the door, and sat on the floor trying to process the soap opera scene that had just played out on my porch. That was days ago. Since then, Lee has escalated. She leaked my phone number online. I've been getting hate messages nonstop, and she and or her friends have egged my house multiple times. I threatened police action for vandalism, and miraculously the egging stopped, but the hostility hasn't. I know this is long, but that's the full story. My family spent years treating me like I was invisible or an embarrassment, then punished me when I set boundaries. Now that their perfect facade has cracked, suddenly I'm the villain for refusing to lie and glue it back together. I'm just tired. I never asked for any of this. I never flirted with Jonathan. I never wanted to be part of their drama. All I ever wanted was basic respect, and apparently that was too much to ask. So yeah, that's where things stand. Wedding canceled, family imploded, and I'm the bad guy for finally telling the truth when asked. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories. Get more experiences.